Hopkins looking spectacular here.
Let me just say this.
That kid's put together, man. He's ready to go.
He is fantastic. And
I'm going to talk to Shedeur when he gets over here about that. I think it was his left pinky toe that maybe snuck on. Not going to have it.
No.
Yeah, so you got Dylan and Shedeur warming up right in front of us, the two of them.
It's great.
It's really cool, and it's also that thing that we were talking about with Tarv, where like look, it's not his room, but you can still, and he talked about his room, but like the quarterback competition, it's on. It starts right now.
It is
probably started last night, honestly.
Last week with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco.
Sure.
Now you got Shedeur and you got Dylan Gabriel. You got 4 guys. Only one of them can be the starter at the end of the day. Now, could multiple of them start throughout the season? Absolutely. Will we see that? Perhaps. But I think, this quarterback competition, and it would be fun to document that, to see kind of just really how that goes from start to finish, because I think it's going to be a fascinating one. I'll tell you what. There are 4 guys that are competing that believe with 100% of their beings that they are the guy.
Dude, you can't get to this point playing that position unless you believe that.
Yes.
You can't. And here's the thing that's cool about that statement. Every one of them might be right. Because there is no obligation to play anybody.
No.
There is no requirement to play anybody.
No.
There is nothing that is given. This will be an entirely earned competition. Kevin Stefanski, hey, we got to make this work. We drafted him number 1. We got to make this work. We acquired nothing. Best man win.
This might be the purest quarterback competition that we've had in the National Football League maybe ever, and certainly not 4 who all have the chance. Dylan Gabriel, by the way, that's a pretty effortless 10, 20, 30, 40, about 50 yards there.
The throwback guy threw a nice ball there too,
Corey,
by the way.
That's Corey.
Was that Corey?
Yeah, dude, Corey.
Oh, so he's the quarterback. I couldn't tell with the hat. So he's no wonder he thrives in the indoor flag league.
Yeah, Corey can sling it.
Oh yeah, and he's like Pickett. He's got the 2 gloves.
I believe former Ignatius QB.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, you're not going to play for Chuck Kyle and not be able to throw it 40 yards.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that.
Not going to have it at all.
Yeah. So it is. It truly is. It's wide open. May the best man win. Let's see. And we'll see. There's certain things that are known. Obviously, you acquired Kenny Pickett, so you obviously liked him. You drafted. That was pretty out of Shedeur. You drafted Gabriel ahead of Shedeur, so obviously that's part of it too. You know what Flacco is, but there is no obligation. Play the best man, and that's a pretty freeing thing. I know we had it in the Osweiler, Kaiser. Was that Osweiler, Kaiser, Kessler? But the stakes were so different. I mean, it was such a different roster.
And that was. I guess you could say, that
kind of, but I mean,
very different.
Very,
very different. This is pure, and you don't have anybody who comes with that first round tag, or that hey, we got to play. You've got a late third. You got Kenny Pickett, who is a former first rounder, but was acquired for a 5th round pick that you recouped from Houston very quickly before the draft. And then you got Shedeur, who's a 5th round pick. It was, a 5th and 6th. So the assets that are invested don't make anybody, they don't buoy anybody. It's not. And you're exactly right. That's actually, I said that to Shedeur. I said, are you excited to be in a competition where literally it's all going to be earned? Like this is going to be football over time. I won't say football in immediacy, because there are situations where there's capital invested in people, whether it's draft capital, financial, whatever, where it's not. But over time, football is the ultimate meritocracy.
Yes.
And that meritocracy is going to be based in large part. Now, of course, the things that don't happen between the white lines go into your ability to be successful in the white lines, but it is based in large part on what goes on between those white lines. And so Shedeur Sanders, I can tell you, 1,000,000,000% believes that he is going to be the Week 1 starting quarterback. Dylan Gabriel believes that he is going to be the Week 1 starting quarterback. Kenny Pickett believes he's going to be the Week 1 starting quarterback, and Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
Flacco fever. So it is going to be such an interesting situation, and I didn't get into it because I know they had just met together, but in future interviews, I'm very curious to ask Dylan and Shedeur, what's it like to go through this with a competitor that is in your draft class, that you guys are learning all these things together, going through the installs together, and you obviously when you come to the NFL, the first thing you have to be is a great teammate.
Yeah.
So you're going to work on these things together, but at the end of the day, it's competition. It's going to come down to who performs the best. And it's going to be – I think this is going to be a fascinating thing that we're seeing here.
I don't think that when you think about two rookie quarterbacks, I don't think two guys drafted in the 3rd and 5th round from Muirfield Village every time. Like whether it was like a coaster or something,
sure,
just simple,
sure.
something simple.
A milkshake, perhaps?
Perhaps. Well, those they give to you. All right, so you got
For a
Shedeur.
nominal fee?
If you're media,
You get them. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
Here, have a taste. Have a taste. Nobody gets hurt.
We're doing some.
What did you get? Buckeye when you played? Is that what you did?
Was that peanut butter banana?
Or did you do peanut butter chocolate?
I had banana. There's definitely banana in mine.
Banana,
peanut butter.
probably
and I
peanut
think
butter
chocolate.
banana.
Maybe, I don't know. But it was delightful. It was.
Yeah.
I will say
the
this.
consistency is. It's a full day though.
Thick.
I always thought that they did. I thought it would come up a straw though. It wasn't so.
No,
thick.
it would get up a throw, but then it sat heavy.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
once
it's
it
whole
was
milk.
in you, it was
Like, when's the last time you sucked down 8 ounces of whole milk? That's a rarity, if ever.
That is a
never.
lot.
Yeah,
That's
never.
a lot of whole milk, brother.
That's a lot of whole milk.
Yeah.
So right now, quarterback's working on being under center, and that's something that
It's on
both these
camera right
quarterbacks
now.
have to worry about.
YouTube.com/Browns.
There it is. You need to have that.
I'm coming
God, look
around
at
a
that
little on 10.
explosive.
Coming around a little on 10.
I'm here to tell you.
Are you really?
I'm here to tell you. It's the number.
Well, and I saw.
the number.
I know you talked to him, and then I saw. I don't know if I read it or where that. And I was unaware of this. So we have a rule against rookies getting single digits, apparently, unless you're quarterback. Is that how he ended up in 10?
So that's in his media availability today. He said he lost out to MJ for number
well,
one.
I mean, that makes all the sense in the world, but like
Yes.
5 was available, so he was drafted ahead of Dylan. But
Yes.
obviously they felt that, and then they said that there was some team rule that if you're a rookie, you can't wear a single digit, apparently, unless
If
you're a
you're
quarterback.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense given how it played out. But 10 is safe to buy. At least that was, as of today, those were his words to me. I said, "Is 10? Can I tell people 10 safe to buy?" He said, "Absolutely, I love it. I'm 10."
It looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good. I think everything would look good on that frame.
Yes.
Here's what I
Yes.
loved about so when the NCAA video game first, and this is about as good as you're going to get from a Browns fan if you're watching on the stream, because you have Shedeur and Dylan taking snaps, and you have Samson and Judkins
Yep.
on the other end handoffs. So I mean, this is
So they're working right now.
everything you'd want.
A little play action and then a little flare out from the back. Check it down out there. Nice throw and then get upfield.
Quinchon on the NCAA video game was the NCAA video game equivalent of Bo Jackson when it first dropped. So
Feels
you could
appropriate.
spin move with him, and you just would hit it. He found out about it, but you would spin move with him, and he would just spin out of anything. And then they fixed it. It was almost like kind of a glitch in the game, but
Yeah.
he was like the greatest player ever on it.
I
He
like
just
it.
hit the B button. He would just zing, zing, zing.
It feels appropriate.
Yeah, yeah. He was a stud. I mean, he just runs. That's why when we did the draft comps with him, like I just coming back to like Kareem Hunt in his prime. Like he runs like Kareem. There's a violence to the run like Kareem. There's a pounding of it. Yeah, he's special. Kevin's working with him now with some words. Yeah.
Well, part of these things, it's new. It's the timing of it, and I like the quarterbacks are kind of looking deep and coming down, so it's kind of they're practicing a check down to the back off of a play action where you're looking for a shot play. Now it's just a quick sprint out to the fullback there. Oh, that was my guy
That's
right
your
there.
guy.
That was Boom Boom Mancini.
How far? Ooh,
Montini.
Youngstown's finest, by the way. What is your? How far is Pleasanton, California, from Pedro?
Right now,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Oh, it's right there.
It's literally, if the hills are here, there's a hill.
Yep.
Fremont's right here. Pleasanton's right here, and there's a cut through right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right over the
Right.
top.
Yeah, right there. 10, 15 minutes max.
Do you think he's heard of Pedro? I feel like the I feel like there's a good chance
don't
that
think-
like the legend of Pedro has gotten around.
We can't say he hasn't.
Can't say he hasn't.
Can't say he hasn't. I want to talk to Austin McKinney, and I'm going to ask him one question. Who's the most famous person from Battle Creek, Michigan? And if he
By
doesn't
the way-
say Rob Van Dam,
Isn't that the home
I'm
of
down on him.
Kellogg's?
It is.
Yeah.
so Tony the Tigers, and that'd be
It was also where
Mighty
you remember
fine
when
company there.
do you remember when Letterman would do the top 10 and he would say from the home office in Battle Creek, Michigan,
Yeah.
Sioux City, Iowa.
Yep.
But Battle Creek, Michigan was one of them. He would do that from the home
Absolutely.
office. Yeah, he'd pick a random Midwest city.
Both these guys are pretty easy throwers of the football, which
It's
is
pretty
nice.
effortless.
Look, we're doing very
arm whip.
very, these are right now working with the running backs. We want to see them get in there with Fannin and these tight ends here soon.
Dude, these two dudes were on every single college football watch list. Going into last season, these were 2 of the 10 guys for the Heisman.
Yep.
The amount of games that these two have – I remember Shedeur played at Jackson State before he got to Colorado and played the 2 years there.
Yep.
Dylan started at UCF, then Oklahoma, and then to Oregon, and just made every place better everywhere he went. These guys have played a lot of ball, man. They played a lot of ball. That's what it looks like. This goes back to something you and I talked about in the offseason, that these guys have never come in more ready to go. You think about Bo Nix last year.
Yeah.
You think about how these guys, Jaden Daniels comes right in and plays at like an MVP level. Like, they have played so much football at such a high level, and the version of offense they're playing is not that dissimilar from the offense they're playing here. So the concepts, there's a lot of similarities. You're right. The biggest thing is under center. They just haven't had to be under center much. That'll be their biggest adjustment.
Well, it's under center. It's taking that snap, and then it's also the footwork when you are coming back from center and the rhythm and the timing, because everything is, very timing based here in these offenses, and that's why it all has to be in sync. When that back foot hits, you got to be ready to have the ball come out if your first read is open, and you have to get familiar with, as you see, Shedeur under center, dropping back, little pass pro, and then a leak out, option route, right on the money to Judkins. But you have to be cognizant of all of those things in these offenses. And for Shedeur, one of the things that I talked to him about was, Pat Shurmur, as offensive coordinator, knows Kevin Stefanski very well, and vice versa. And so there's going to be he's going to have a lot of a communication there, but also just an understanding of exactly what he's getting into and what Kevin Stefanski is going to want out of this thing. There's Gabriel now. Yeah, they both just throw very tight spirals.
Just a flick.
Yeah, it's on air. These are no running backs. We're not pushing the ball down the field, so it should look good. But so far, it does look good. But back to your point is, Dylan Gabriel started 63 games, more than anybody in FBS history. These guys have played a lot of football. They've played a lot of meaningful football. In the case of Gabriel, you could make the case that maybe he's played more, meaningful football over the last couple of years than anybody in college football. Is that fair? Nix would be the
You
other.
might be able to say he's played more meaningful football than anyone in the history of college football. It'd be on a short list.
Why you have 2 swings here. That's why you have in Pickett a third youthful bite at the apple, because we've got to get this position right. It is the biggest thing facing this franchise. And the beauty of what you've done here is not only do you have this opportunity in Shedeur Sanders, not only do you have this opportunity in Dylan Gabriel, not only do you have this opportunity in Kenny Pickett, you have the reason you made the trade down from 2 to 5 to not only get Quinshon Judkins and Mason Graham, but was to get that future first-rounder for next year. And so not only is it an open competition, not only do I think it will be a very fair competition between the guys and the best player will emerge, but there's an urgency for them as well, because you want to not only establish yourself as the week 1 starter, you want to then go and perform this year at a level that says to Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, hey, those 2 first.
The reason I went Teddy, because I thought South Florida, Miami, like there'd be some. How did he connect with Jeff Blake? By the way, Quinshon Judkins looking spectacular here.
Let me just say this:
that kid's put together, man. He's ready to go.
He is fantastic, and we're gonna have an interview that I did with him that'll air sometime in the coming days, weeks, months here on Cleveland Browns Daily.
Perhaps multiple times, because it's so
perhaps good. He's fantastic. My takeaway from him was that he reminded me, and this is what I said to